slave power was the wealth builder in this country. The North had all these immigrants coming in, but a typical slave owner with 2 slaves had more wealth than a typical white. If he threw in his house, his business, and his all his personal assets. The wealth was in the South, and the whites wanted to break the South. They wanted to break the wealth power the South had over the nation, and they still did. And that's what these see we're talking about the red states in the South. Those are the same states. And they were trying to break that Confederate lock on wealth and building. All the major industries for cotton, rice, indigo, leather, everything was coming out of the South. And that's what the Civil War was about. It wasn't about slavery. Blacks were insignificant. That's why Abraham Lincoln said, I don't really care that much about slavery. Tell my people it's free, started reading my damn books. Lincoln said, I don't give a damn about slavery. He said, what I'm out is to preserve and save the Union. That's what I want to do, is save the Union. He says that, and blacks are secondary. And if blacks wind up being saved as a result of that, I'll be willing to either ship them into Texas and give them a special spot in Texas, or ship them out of the country back to Liberia, or ship them to the Bahamas. That's the president of the United States. You all keep going and sitting on that statue in Washington, D.C., revering Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln didn't give a damn about black folk. That's why the Emancipation Proclamation did not free not one slave. That was put out as a ruse in January of that year to try to create disturbances in the South. And when the war ended in May, when the war ended incidentally because the North had beaten the South, the word spread that the war had ended, but by the time it got to blacks a month or so later, that's what you all call Juneteenth. That was an incidental accident that blacks got free. The North said, now we've beaten the South, we're going to bring in about another 20 or 30 million Europeans, and we're going to go across the Mississippi River now and industrialize the West. That's what the whites wanted in the North. That's why they said, and we're going to go industrialize the West, and you Southerners, you can come up with the black codes, whatever you want, and Jim Crow say, well, you can keep those blacks again and use them as this, not as free labor, this time as cheap labor. And see, blacks, and if you're going to go before Congress, damn it, know what you're talking about. And get some resources in your hand. So the whole thing is that what is right now is impossible in theory and practice for black folk to continue to survive in this nation and on earth. Only 1/2 or 1%. Times are getting ready to break loose. All hell's going to break loose between now and the next 18 months in the election this year. And black folk better learn what I told them in my books. That's why I talked about the Harvest Festival Day. You better learn how to come together, build a good, strong sense of community, start building your communities, and in preparation, because when hell breaks loose, the rednecks conservatives in this country, they're going to go try to hurt the weakest link. The weakest link in America are the black people. You're still totally dependent on the white slave master and immigrants in this country for your daily necessities and your food. You don't produce anything. You're 100% consumers and 0 producers. We're in deep trouble. That's what my books are saying. Move now and get those books and start reading and start doing something. And then when you talk about reparation, tell me you want to hear all this stuff about your mama being whipped when she's a slave and all that. You talking about, I want you to redistribute the wealth, the resources. We want land. Don't be talking about how much money I'm gonna give a black. I don't give a damn if you don't give a black person a penny. You put all that money into special trust accounts. You put it into special development banks. I got a whole plan on where the money should go, Dr. Watkins, but I'm not gonna tell you on your show right now because the claim jumpers will hear us and they'll run right out and start spilling it as if it's something they learned and thought up and dreamed up and developed. So that's the long story short.